Today on Riffs, Spirits, and Gear, we go over how I created my new intro, which is going to play right now. I recently overhauled this channel's new intro and I re-recorded my, at this point, theme song for the channel called Failed, the intro song, which I originally used and wrote for a demo. I think it was for the Lace Deathbucker back in like 2012 or something like that. I decided to re-record it, and it's only been re-recorded once before. And I kind of wanted to go over what I used and what I mixed with, and etc. with the song, because you guys are asking a lot, like, oh, what guitar tone is that, or what amp is that, or what bass tone, etc. So we're gonna go over all of that today. So here is my session in Studio One. The cool thing about recording something like a theme song is I can do whatever I want, how I want, and I can make it as long as I want or as short as I want. And I wanted to go shorter, and before the previous intro was a larger, longer song that I simply just cut at a section. I took the existing WAV file and I just made it how it was. This time I was able to actually record the length that I wanted, and it just made for just kind of a cleaner sounding intro, in my opinion. So let's start with the drums. What I've been doing lately is I will have my Superior Drummer 3 preset that I use, and I would generally tweak a lot. But this is a kit that I use in Superior 3. And then I will also come in with Contact, and I will reinforce the kick and the snare only with Modern and Massive, which is just a great sounding kit. Get Good Drums is awesome. I've been layering a lot of drums with my stuff lately, and I just found that this just brings it up and gives me a bigness that I enjoy. So here is what the drums sound like soloed. Okay, simple and effective. That's really what I wanted to go for when I wrote this originally all those years ago. So let's move on to the guitars. Now the guitars were quad tracked, okay? And they are in drop B, so it's pitched up a half a step higher than the original, but I liked how it sounded. I liked the timbre in which it was sitting. I used my Balaguer Hyperion with Fishman Moderns, Fluence Moderns in the bridge. And yeah, it was quad tracked into a Friedman Butterslacks, which is a custom amp. It's been modified for me by Dave Friedman. The clean channel is much cleaner than the stock Butterslacks, but also on the dirty channel, it has a body and presence shift. So I can actually shift where the low end is being accentuated in the power section. So I was able to kind of dial in by feel when I was reamping the tracks to kind of fit where the bass guitar was kind of ending off. And we'll get to that in a second. But it was being boosted by a Maxon OD 808X into a Torpedo Live with a Mesa Boogie Vintage 30 Impulse. And the guitar soloed sound like this. Okay, it's nothing really crazy, honestly. It's just thick, and I wanted a lot of upper mids, and I wanted a lot of top end, and I wanted a real separation from the guitar and the bass, because the bass is gonna do a lot of the heavy lifting in this mix. So what did I use for the guitars? Open up my bus. First, I notched out some stuff with FabFilter. I notched out a lot of low mids, because with the quad tracking, there was a lot of low mid buildup. And I notched out some problem frequencies. Nothing unusual. Then we go to Slate Virtual Mix Rack. This is basically, this is doing the bulk of the sonic coloring. I have a Neve VCC channel going on. I'm EQing it just a little bit with FGN, and then I'm coming in with some saturation with some FG Bomber, and then I am compressing it with the FG Stress. That's really the tone right there. Soothe, I'm just getting a little bit of the upper fizziness again with the quad tracking. You're stacking a lot of frequencies on top of each other, and I don't normally quad track with my YouTube demos, but for this I thought it was warranted, and I just wanted something different. Okay, so with the bass guitar track, I had that intro. I didn't want it to start, so the original song had this weird arpeggiated clean tone, and I didn't like that. It didn't work in the context of the intro. I just wanted to just hit you over the head with the chugs, but it needed something in front of that. And I just decided to do a bass guitar slide. And the slide is slightly different in tone than the actual performance track of the song. So I just tracked those two separately. So what you're seeing here is how I track all my basses. I usually use a DI, and then I will copy the DI to a second track and then put some kind of amp sim on it. In this case, I'm using JST Hellraiser because I absolutely love it and it sounds phenomenal. But here's how the bass track sounds isolated, and you're gonna hear the main track sound slightly different than the intro track. Okay, super simple. Again, I'm running the Hellraiser plugin in parallel with the DI, so I can just kind of mix them as needed. Here are the settings for Hellraiser. I'm just using the Demon Fuzz. I'm using a lot of clank, and I have the low end full up. I'm using the stock cab. I'm adding some low end, and then I am just compressing. And I am then busing these two tracks into the bass bus. And I have just the stock PreSonus Pro EQ. I'm carving out frequencies. I'm leaving room for the guitar. And then coming in with the UAD Little Labs Voice of God to add some low lows. And then I'm coming in with the distressor and just crushing it. Check this out. And then I am following that with the FabFilter Pro L limiter. That's the bass bus. On my two bus, I'm using 3 plugins. First, I have the UAD Precision Maximizer to add just a little bit of top end. It's a really kind of smooth top end because I'm taking some of it away with the UAD Oxide tape. Now the tape adds a lot of warmth and a lot of saturation, and I love this plugin. It adds a lot of dimension. Actually, I'll turn this off and on, and I'll let you hear the difference. See what I mean? It hits you over the head. And I love that about the UAD Oxide tape plugin. And finally, I'm going into a UAD BX Master Desk. This is a brand new plugin that I just bought over the holiday and over Thanksgiving. And it's just wonderful. And I'm being pretty aggressive with it, but it also allows you to do some mid-side processing and de-essing all in one fell swoop. And I really like it. And that's it. That is how I created my new intro song. And I hope you have found this informative. And yeah, I'll try to do more of these going forward. I get caught up in the video stuff, but I will definitely be doing more tutorial stuff like this in the future. And hope you were able to pick something up with it as well. I'll pick my links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.